Well, we're finally late enough in the season in the spring now that I think we're past all the threat of frost, and now's the time to get the last of your vegetable garden planted, especially those warm season crops that you want to do from seed, things like beans and corn, cucumbers, squash, those sorts of things that like a nice warm soil. If you've never planted seed before, it's really not as intimidating as you might think. It's very, very easy. In fact, these are some beans that we got from Annie's Heirloom Seeds. They sent us a whole bunch of great seeds. We really appreciate that. So planting some beans, that's a big seed. You can see that right here. It's a nice big seed. So they need to go underground just a little ways so that they can be in contact with the soil. So I just dig a little trench there with a trowel, put a couple every 3 or 4 inches. You don't want to seed them too thickly because they don't like a lot of competition. You'll probably end up coming in here anyway and thinning some of these out a little bit later because you want them to be about 6 inches apart once they come up and start growing. But I always put in extras because, you know, once in a while you get a dud. And that's all there is to throwing the beans in the ground. Then you just take your hand, cover them back over. It's a good idea to probably have a little stick there at the end with a label on it to tell you what you planted there. Now here we've got some carrots. Carrot seed is much, much smaller, much finer. Dump some out here. See how tiny that is? You get a gust of wind, it would blow it right out of my hand. So you don't plant them nearly as deep as you do the beans. Again, just a small trench in the soil and sprinkle them lightly throughout the trench. A little heavier than what you're going to want them because, again, you get a dud now and again. And cover it over with your hand, mark the row. And finally, I have some room down here at the end for some cucumbers. They can take over this end and trail over the edge. Cucumbers are about halfway between bean seeds and carrots, but you plant them a little bit different. Cucumbers I don't like to plant in rows. I like to plant them in a hill or a group or a mound or whatever you want to call it, but they seem to work better as a family together in a cluster. So I'll just make a couple of little holes here, drop a few cucumber seeds in there, 3 or 4 in each hole, set it down. And now what you'll want to do is you'll want to keep this whole area nice and moist for the next week to 10 days while all of this stuff comes up. And as it comes up, you can go through, and anything that's too close together, like I said on the beans, you want them about 6 inches apart. The package will tell you, so read your package and it'll tell you how far apart to thin your vegetables as they come up. When these cucumbers come up, you want just 2 or 3 in a group and they'll be fine. The carrots, you want to thin them out 1 inch or 2 apart so they have room for those carrot roots to mature without being too crowded. Read the packet of seed, it'll tell you how long they take to come up, and many packets are even showing you now a picture of what the seedling looks like so you can tell it the difference between it and any weeds that might come up in the process, because you will probably get a few weeds coming up along with your vegetable seeds. So now that the hard work is done, which really wasn't all that hard, it's time to do some relaxing, and MJ is going to show us some great patio furniture from Lowe's.